Hey everybody, it is Kendell and Lenice, and welcome to Reviews and News. So I literally just left the New Edition concert and I came right here to you all as soon as I got in the house because I didn't want to wait until tomorrow. Hey everybody, again, this is Kendell and Lenice. Welcome to Reviews and News. All right, let's get into it. Y'all know, well, if you don't know, if this is your first time tuning in, I'm a New Edition family member. I have gone to, I don't even know how many New Edition shows I've gone to. That's how many I've gone to. Countless. Been loving New Edition since I was like 9 or 10 years old. Have seen every concert. Every concert is impeccable, professional, down to the T for the dance movement and the clothes and the costume change and the set design and how they maneuver in and out and on stage. New Edition, seasoned professional. Shout out to Brooke Payne for making sure they were seasoned professionals since they were little. So Jodeci, I saw the Baltimore show tonight, 2/27/22, right? Got the tickets last year whenever they went on sale, been looking forward to going. I've even gone to New Edition's Walk of Fame, Hollywood Walk of Fame star ceremony in Hollywood. I got special tickets to go see the movie, the New Edition story. I've hosted Bobby Brown's book signing. I mean, like, I'm invested. I've had VIP little passes. I have gone backstage. I have taken pictures with them. So I rides for New Edition. Tonight is not any different. I just want to talk about what happened. So it's the culture tour, which Michael Bivins named it just that because New Edition is part of our culture. And at first, you can see, let me just show you first. I got my NE for Life shirt on, which I made in my green 1971 earrings, which means I am 50 years old. So I've been rocking with New Edition for forever. I have, the camera is different, so I gotta look. Wait, it's over here. All right. So then I have my S Rich, Sporty Rich. If you know, then you really know. That is Michael Bivins' line, Sporty Rich. And then these buttons, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, and Ralph, and my favorite boy band. I got those from BET when I saw a special screening of the story. And I got this Bobby Brown shirt today at the concert. And then it has Bobby Brown. And then, of course, some of his most, what's the other show? Most popular songs. Then I got this with all of them, which is pretty dope. And the tour dates. Right? Then I also got this New Edition hat. On the camera, it looks turquoise, but it is bright royal cobalt blue. The camera's making it look different. All right, and I'm gonna be rocking this beanie, NE for Life. So those, and then my daughter's got one of each of this because, Bobby is my favorite. And that's the concert. So for the concert, it was through the culture tour. It's Jodeci, Charlie Wilson, and New Edition. So we already knew that Charlie Wilson wouldn't be. It's about 4 dates he's not performing for whatever reason, and Baltimore was one of them, and we already knew. And we were trying to decide if we wanted to go to Baltimore or DC to see New Edition. And I still might want to go to DC, but in Baltimore, it was about 15, 20 minutes from us, the location that they had, maybe a little more. And we said, you know what, we'll go to that one. Smaller arena, you can see all over the place. I went with my daughters. Normally, I'm up close and personal. This time I wasn't because you can see anywhere on there in the arena. It was that small. It was sold out, packed. And it's funny. I didn't do the VIP thing or anything, didn't get a chance to go backstage. And I'm kind of happy about it. So Jodeci, let me start and then I'll go on. So Jodeci did their thing. Y'all know that Casey and JoJo, they're off of drugs, they're clean, their voices sound good. Devontae and Dalvin were there, and y'all know Devontae, he was a recluse for a moment. It was reported years ago that someone did a home invasion on him, and he was like kind of paranoid to be outside, or he didn't trust people and some things like that. So I know he was going through it at a time, and I was so happy to see him. So Casey, JoJo, Devontae, and Dalvin, Mr. Dalvin, they were there. They sound amazing. They looked great. And they put on an excellent show. And they ended with "Gotta Get On Up, yeah. Sing it again, Jodeci, get on up." Then they sang, of course, "Cry for You," "Forever My Lady," "Fiendin'," "Come and Talk to Me." Everything, anything that you can think of with Jodeci for the most part. They even did the Fiendin' remix. Cry, what I said, "Cry for You," and they did everything, right? And then also, so then they were good. And Charlie Murphy, we missed him. So you guys that got to see him in your cities, I know he turned it out. We know he's been doing this. If New Edition been doing it for 40 years, Charlie Murphy, Lord have mercy, Charlie Wilson has been doing it for 60 years. So y'all already know how Charlie gets down, Uncle Charlie. So already we knew we weren't going to see Charlie. So that was like, eh. But of course, we wanted to see New Edition. And my daughters went, they know New Edition. They know New Edition songs, because I'm their mother. So they know New Edition before the New Edition story came out. So most people in their generation know New Edition because of the New Edition story movie, where they got to see some of the things. But my kids, they've been riding for New Edition for forever. So, they were already ready. Now, my youngest daughter has seen New Edition with me before, but my oldest daughter hadn't. And of course, when my youngest daughter seen it, the concert was impeccable, amazing, because it's New Edition. That's how they get down. They don't play. So this was the first time my oldest daughter seen them. And I was kind of sad if this was someone's first concert of New Editions. So first concert period. And then if this is their first time seeing New Edition, I know someone in line was like, "Is this your first time seeing New Edition?" I was like, no, I don't even know how many times I've seen them. That's how many times I've seen them. So I was excited about both my daughters being there with me, seeing my fave boy band. But all right, so here it goes. Let me just start backwards. So Mike Bivins left the stage and said, "We owe you, Baltimore. Thank y'all. Thank you for rocking with us tonight. We owe y'all another one, Baltimore." So, New Edition, consummate professionals, right? So, after the second song, Bobby Brown was out for the count. So, all six started. Bobby Brown was out for the count. They were doing their thing. And then when Tenderoni came and Ricky was singing it, but I had already known because my eye stays on Bobby. I was like, Bobby is not on the stage. And then Ricky started singing Tenderoni. I was like, okay, skirt, what? Love Ricky, love all the fellas, but I like Bobby to sing his songs. And I like everybody to sing their own songs. And of course, with the help of the brethren. But I want to hear Bobby sing Every Little Step and My Prerogative and Tenderoni himself, because those were his solo hits, right? So then my daughter was like, "They're so professional and so smooth. I didn't even realize Bobby wasn't there," because that's how gifted and how dope New Edition is. They know how to come back and interchange, one another. But Bobby was gone. So then maybe a couple of songs later, they said Bobby, is in the back with a stomach bug. Something's wrong with his stomach. Doctors are looking at him, and the beat still goes on. Let's go. So they're doing it. Now, I've seen New Edition where it was only 5 of them. And normally, if it's 5 of them, they don't sing Bobby Brown's song because they know how to format it, because they know Bobby's not going to be there. So this was the first time that during the show it happened. So what are they supposed to do? They're professionals. They're going to keep it pushing. So they took the other mic aside and they got busy. Then further down, you don't see Mike for few songs. Like Mike, Mike is always going to be there. He wasn't there. So then after a few songs, Johnny said, "The devil is a lie." He was talking about that devil raging. Mike was in the back. So Bobby's in the back. So we start with 6, and then we have 4 on stage. Bobby is gone. Mike is gone for a lot of the time, too. I'm like, well, where's Mike? They had a mic there. And then, of course, they had to take that off. And Mike apparently hurt his ankle or leg maybe last night because they were at Madison Square Garden, sold out. And y'all know how dope that is to sell out Madison Square Garden. But I guess they were pushing through, and Johnny was like, we were going to push through. We were not going to cancel on y'all, Baltimore. We was going to come give it. But I guess after a while, whatever was wrong with Mike's leg, he couldn't keep going because of his leg, right? So he had to go in the back, and y'all know New Edition dances. They dance hard. So it ain't no little 2-step. New Edition going to give you everything they got. They're going to leave it on the stage every single time. So, of course, Mike was trying, and I guess it got the best of him. So he was out for a few songs. So Johnny Gill was singing everybody's song. Now, if you've seen a New Edition concert, sometimes they'll do My, or something, one of his songs. And then he'll just Can You Stand the Rain and These Are the Things That Change Boys to Men. And he'll do that, but he doesn't sing a lot of the lead because that Johnny came into New Edition when New Edition was already established. So especially the earlier songs, Johnny's voice wasn't even in the song. So even on one, Ricky was like, dang, or I think Ricky said to him, like, dang, you ain't even on Mike. One of them said, like, dang, you weren't even in our group with that song. And he was like, I stepped up. Johnny was like, I stepped up, didn't I? So then they start interchanging and coming into let's make it happen mode. So Johnny was doing a lot of the singing because Bobby's leads that he did in a lot of the early ones, Bobby got a chance to sing Mr. Telephone Man. And a lot of the earlier songs where Bobby sang lead, because if you're a true fan and Bobby sang a lot of the leads early on, and Ralph, and they sang a lot of it. So Johnny was trying to step up. Johnny's voice was hoarse, and y'all know Johnny takes over the mic and takes the song an extra couple seconds. But he was trying to hold it down for New Edition. So you had some times where Ralph and Johnny were out there. Then you had Ralph and Ricky and Ronnie. Then you had, just Ralph out there. Then you had just Johnny out there. Then you had, 2/3 of BBD out there because Mike wasn't. But then you had Johnny had to come back to, pick up some of the slack. And then Ralph was out there. Then, of course, when Ralph sang Sensitivity and Johnny Gill sang Fairweather Friend and When Will I See You Smile Again, Ricky was only out there. So he didn't have DeVoe or Biv. It was just Bell from Bell, Biv, DeVoe. And he sang When Will I See You Smile Again. He was out there, of course, by himself. And I guess they were checking on Mike. First they were checking on Bobby. Then they was checking on Mike. So I don't know what happened. And they said they were going straight for 2 weeks. But like I was telling my daughter, I got to see this tour because I think that this would be probably the last time we'll see him because everybody is getting older. Now, the Temptations, everybody still can perform and they've been doing this, but things happen. And I don't think that New Edition should have back to back to back to back. Like, I really think there should be space in between. Like they had Madison Square Garden and then us tonight. I think that they really should have like a day in between to rest because they've been doing this for years. And you got to rest your body. I understand that, it's been COVID and everybody been resting and not really doing as much as they do. But anybody will tell you touring is very taxing on your body, especially if you're New Edition, because New Edition gives 150%. They give everything they got. They ain't half stepping, right? They're not sitting there doing, they're doing that. They're giving everything they got. They just not like, so that is tiresome. And I'm sure Madison Square Garden, I'm sure that they left everything on that stage. And you see clips the past 2 weeks, they've been killing it. So then I was bummed, like, dang, now they're going to come here and, Bobby gets sick, then Mike is hurt. And, you can't control those type of things. So I was praying for my brothers, And that's of course the first and foremost. That's that they're fine and they're okay and not stretching themselves. And and if you have a stomach buns and if you got the PGs and whatever was going on, you can't get out there on the stage and do your thing. So you can tell that they're professionals, because if it was a little millennial group or a new group or somebody that's been in the business for a short period of time, they wouldn't have done what New Edition did. They wouldn't have continued. New Edition still gave like 2 hours. They wouldn't have continued. They'd have been like, well, he got a stomach bug. He didn't hurt his leg. We're going to end this show. Like, no diss. I love Monica. But they said Monica was in Baltimore last night and she was headlining the show. And they said she came out so late, she only performed 30 minutes. So New Edition ain't doing that. They're going to still leave everything that they got. So you can tell that they had to finesse the sets and what they were doing, because they weren't expecting Bobby or Mike to be out. So you can still tell. And if you have never, if this was your first time coming to a show and you heard Johnny saying, the devil is a lie and the devil is out and they ain't going to get us, and all of this stuff is happening, you would think the concert was great, because it still was great. It had all the elements. They sang the songs, they did the dancing, they gave everything they got. But I've seen them a million times to know, and they know that it wasn't their best. Not because they weren't giving it. It's just because you had holes because of the guys. But to the naked eye, you couldn't tell the way they were maneuvering on that stage and still had their banging outfits and coming out and still having the bright lights and the glitter and the suits and the hats and the this and the that and everything. And them dancers, BBD's dancers and New Edition's dancers, wrecked the stage. So they still gave a great performance. This still was a great show in spite of. And a lot of young singers and groups need to really take a note out of this notebook, really a page out of this notebook, to say, you know what, the show still goes on and I'm gonna leave everything on the stage and I'm gonna still give it. And Johnny was the MVP today, because he was doing everybody's parts. Like everybody was trying to pull to do what they needed to do, and Ralph was smooth doing his sensitivity. But one thing, New Edition is great. I love them all. But one thing, Ralph and Ronnie, they're going to be consistent. Even Ricky, in a lot of cases, they're going to be consistent with, like, they're going to still keep doing it no matter what's happening. They still going to keep. They're going to still keep doing it, and whatever's around them, they're going to keep going. Sometime when Bobby on the stage, he'll slow down a little bit. Ricky is still consistent with it. Johnny, one of the big things when they first started is he was like, I don't dance. And they was like, well, if you're going to be a part of New Edition, which is already established, you're going to have to dance. So that has always been a joke with them. But he was doing it today, and him and Bobby gained a little weight. So at one point, my daughters thought Johnny was Bobby at first, because it did look like him, because he had gained a little weight too. And then he was dancing. It was like, well, they was like, wait a minute. And I was like, my boy Bobby is gone. And Bobby is my favorite. So out of all the concerts I've gone to with New Edition, this was the first concert that I sat down. And I sat down when Johnny Gill did Every Little Step and My Prerogative. I just couldn't jam. And I know all the steps. I just couldn't do it. It wasn't the same with Johnny singing it. And I sat down and I was a little sad. And I was like, but I got back up. But 99.9, I was standing up. Those two songs, I was like, wait. Because, I was hoping, he's going to come out. Whatever they're going to give him some Pedialyte. They're going to try to give him some peppermint tea. They're going to try whatever it is. And I don't know how severe his, stomach was, the issue. But I was just like still hoping like a little kid, please let him come out. Please let him come out at the end. And then Mike came back out, and Mike came back out with, of course, Poison. But he wasn't popping like he normally does, but he still came out. And kudos to Mike for that, because even though he was limping around that stage, he still came out with Poison. He had to be out there with Poison. Like, come on, BBD. He had to be out there, and he did. And then when they did another song, he kind of dipped back out. But the way they did it was so seamless, you couldn't even tell when one left the stage and one would come, because it was always movement. One came, the other one left. There was two, there was one, there was three, there was five, there was six. So excuse me, it almost looked like that's how it was supposed to be, except if you're looking for Bobby and Mike. They didn't say it right away because they were probably hoping they would come back, and then Johnny addressed it. But I still give my boys an A. I'm kind of sad. Not kind of. I am sad. And I pray for Bob. I hope they're fine. But I know their next show is in their hometown, Boston, and that's March 2nd. So that gives a couple days to, 2 days or so, 2 or 3 days, to breathe for a minute. So what, the 28th, the 1st, the 2nd. So 3 days for them to breathe a bit. But I really think that I think they probably jammed extra hard at Madison Square Garden yesterday. But they could have said, you know what, if they weren't professionals, they could have said, you know what, Baltimore, we're going to see y'all later. But they didn't. They still came and they still did their thing, and things happen. But I think because they're so professional, they've been doing this so long, they have been so consistent, and they don't play about their performances. So I know that it bothered them. I know that they were sad. I was like, dang, I wish I was in the dressing room or in the back after the show, because Mike left the stage. He was like, Baltimore, thank you for sticking with us through this. He was like, Baltimore, we owe y'all another one, and we're going to come back. So if they come back, I'm going to be back. And I thought about, dang, I should try to go to DC, but they got nosebleed seats, and they're in the big arena, huge, and it's at the tip top. And I remember one time I got free tickets with my sister to see Chris Brown and Trey Songz. This was years ago. And my sister had 2 or 3 extra seats. She had originally had those, and then she ended up getting floor seats and still had those. So she asked if we wanted to go. So we went. And I remember we were all the way at the tip top. And it was a free concert. She gave us the tickets, but for New Edition, I can't be up in the corner, because it was so bad that my daughter said Chris Brown had pink hair. And even with the Jumbotron TVs and all of that, I still didn't realize he had pink hair. That's how far we were up. So I don't want to do that, but I would really like to see them through this tour again. I'm not completely pressed because I've seen them so many times. I'm just glad that with the Culture Tour, I did get a chance to see my boys, because everybody getting older, and things are changing, and we don't know if somebody's going to be sick or hurt or not there for whatever reason. So I wanted to go to this concert like I do every concert, but this one was a little special because they all got back together again, and this is the tour that was supposed to be right after the movie in 2017, but they couldn't, and then RBRM, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike, that tour happened in 2018. I remember Ralph was a little salty about that, because that was supposed to be a New Edition tour, which would make sense because they kept talking about the tour and the movie coming together. And they played little clips of the movie on this one, but that was supposed to be the tour. So they had to work out their business and their brotherhood, because Ralph and Johnny was upset that Ronnie, Bobby, and Ricky and Mike went on tour. But then the fellas was upset with Johnny because he was trying to take the rights of the New Edition. And they like, wait a minute, you wasn't even in here in the beginning. Ralph had it. Then they had. So it was a lot of business that they had to work out. And I'm glad to see that they did work it out enough to do this tour. And everybody is posting the tour, and they've been doing their thing in the cities. So that's why he said, Mike was like, we owe you one, because they've been giving every city all they got, and they still did. So I'm not even going to front. They still gave everything that they had. Things happen. Not to say I'm not disappointed, but things happen. So I still love my boys the same. Mike, take care of that ankle, the leg, foot, whatever it is down there in that region. And Bobby, I hope your stomach is good. And Johnny, you held it down. You held it down. You had a little extra weight on you. You were still doing that dance. Your voice, you dancing. Your voice was hoarse, but you were still trying to do it, because y'all know Johnny's a little extra. But I gave him a pass today because He held it down and he did what he had to do for New Edition. And that's what you're supposed to do as a team. When one is down, the others are supposed to step up. If you one's supposed to do, you can't be like, that ain't my job. You know how people be at work talking about, that ain't in my job description. Not when you a team, not when you have one goal is to have a hot show. Then it don't matter if it's in your job description. It doesn't matter if that's what you were supposed to do. You give everything you have. So I know some of the fans were on my page on Facebook like, dang, I'm mad about that. And I was like, I got to come in. I'm tired. And I was like, I got to come in, sit down and do this. Do this real quick. Just mean I'm going to be 51, y'all. So any for life. I'm an any for lifer. He talked about any for lifers today. Right out there. That's what I am. That's what I will always be. So I told my daughter, it's on me. If they come back, my oldest daughter that didn't see them do, but they were still rocking. And she gave them a compliment. She was like, they were so professional and so good. I couldn't even tell who wasn't on the stage at first and who wasn't. I didn't even realize Bobby left because the way they were moving and flowing, that's how they do. They are true professionals. And I'm still NE for life, no matter what. I'm proud of Jodeci. They did their thing. Y'all know, y'all seen on social media years ago when they were, going through their time when they weren't the best. But they were good. Jodeci was good. And I was laughing. I said, because you got Mr. Dalvin and KC are the loud brothers, and you got the low-key brothers, Johnny and Devontae. So, what do I want to say as I end? I know Alicia was probably mad because y'all know Alicia, Bobby Brown's wife, is about the business, but I'm sure it was about her husband first because if you see your husband outside of there, and not well, you're not going to think about the business first. But I know that they all thought about the business because they wouldn't have made it this far not thinking about the business. So you can tell they were upset. And I get it. But I respect them even more because they did like they do and still gave the best performance they could. And it was still top notch to some people who would have given everything they got, right? Or who would have quit or who would have left and said, all right, we out, we giving you 20 minutes. They ain't here. We messed up. See y'all. They still gave everything that they had. So even not well, they still stood above many of these other performers. Let's be clear. All right, y'all. This is Reviews and News. This is Kendell Lenice right here on YouTube. Do me a favor and subscribe below. Also, leave a comment if you were at the show in Baltimore. Tell me what you think. And let me know what your favorite New Edition song is because we're going to keep the love train going for New Edition because I ride for them. And I'm going to continue to ride for them. It's all right. We forgive you in Baltimore. But we do want you to make it up to us. We do want you to come back. Maybe you could circle back around at the end of the tour and come back to Baltimore and give it all you got. Give it all you got. Give it all you got. And come back. But we love you. New Edition for life. Always. This is Kendell Lenice for Reviews and News. Peace. Oh, Forever My Lady with Jodeci. They played all the clips of all the couples we know, like Dwayne and Whitley, Martin and Gina, Obama. They played Monica and Q from Love and Basketball. It was really, really cute. And I told you New Edition played part of the New Edition story. That was really cute. But my daughter said we missed a lot of it because they did Woody, who played Bobby Brown in the Bobby Brown story and New Edition story. It was clips of them, but they couldn't play all the clips because some of the guys weren't out. So we missed a lot of stuff. If you looked at the other cities, we missed a lot of stuff because two brothers were down, but they're gonna make it up to us. So Baltimore, they're gonna make it up to us. If we can go to another city, let's do that too. But all right, y'all, peace. God bless.